Good morning, Facebook.
Good morning, Facebook.
And good morning, all. Good morning, all joining the meeting. Morning, Adam.
Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Ash. Good morning, Mike. How's everyone doing this morning?
Doing well.
Good.
Hey, good morning, Marie.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Morning,
Good morning.
Nicola.
Peace and blessings.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us early on a Sunday morning.
Ash and Mike, I wanted to ask you, is there anything that community members would need to have ready to prepare for your session this morning?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, they'll need a journal or something to write on and a pen. You can do it digitally if you need to, but having a physical paper would be preferable if possible.
Good morning, family. Peace and blessing.
Good morning, Teresa.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday to y'all. Thanks for being here this morning. My name is Mike Greenberg, for anyone who was not with us last time. So today's class, we're calling the Psychology of Practice Part 2, Establishing Practice. I recognize some of y'all from last time, but if you missed Part 1, that's totally fine. You can jump right in today. We'll make sure that you have everything you need to be a part of the conversation. Ashton, I think today is going to be a really big, I've been calling it juicy discussion. And specifically what we're looking to do today is first have everyone identify what's a practice in your life that you would like to cultivate, that maybe you haven't been able to really make stick, or maybe you haven't even tried it at all yet, but something that is out there that you really see as being beneficial for yourself, if maybe you had the structure that you needed to really have it in your life. To do that, we're then going to have everyone identify a set of values that are embodied within that practice. What are the things kind of deep within you that would be expressed with this practice? And then to the name of the class today, we're going to have everyone distinguish some conversations that exist in a few different psychological contexts that either support or thwart your cultivating of that practice. So there are a few different ways of speaking that we're going to look at today. So just for a quick recap for anyone who was or wasn't here last time, we took an existing practice in our lives and we explored it through the metaphor of a flower. So specifically, we looked at the practice itself, which would be like the actual actions you take, what it looks like in your life, and what it provides you. We looked at that as the actual flower itself. And then we looked at the context that supports that practice, which would be things like your values and your identity, as the root system of that practice. And we suggested that a healthy, enduring practice is one that's rooted in your values and that has benefits that show up in many places throughout your life. And we then provided an opportunity for everyone to begin uncovering those very things. So before kind of getting in today, Ash is going to share a little bit for herself what opened up from that last session. And I encourage everyone to sort of think for themselves if they see anything in their own practices that they maybe could relate to what Ash is going to share.
So the last time that we were here, we each selected an existing practice that we have, and we looked back and we said, oh, what is the value that I have that this is an embodiment of? And then what's the identity that I have that this relates back to? And we did that with something that we already do. Distinct from today, where we're looking at something we want to have present in our life. And one of the things I looked at was running, and I run 4 times a week. And what I saw about that, the value that is behind that's an embodiment of, is actually growth. So one of the things that motivates me to get out and go running is getting faster at a half mile and getting to 5 miles, 6 miles, and 7 miles, expanding the distance that I can run and bumping up against all of the conversations that go on in my brain about how I can't do it. And what I really saw since the last time that we were together is that my running practice is at about the same time every day. So when it comes time for me to run, I don't think about it. I just lift my body up, walk downstairs, and put my running shoes on. And I just really saw that, and my practice has been very, very stable since the last time we were here. So that's what started to open up for me out of that last session.
Thank you. So what Ash pointed to is both kind of how she talks about it with herself and then how she actually makes that action happen on a regular basis. And we're going to get to that second part potentially another time if y'all would like to have us back again. But right now, what we're going to look at today are those conversations that we have about the practice. And specifically, we're going to actually kind of begin a process of reverse engineering a new practice into our lives. So that's to say, rather than focusing on taking on the actual practice itself right now, we're going to begin creating a context in which the practice can actually just naturally grow and blossom, much like a flower. And so what we'd like to suggest is that there are 2 layers of context underneath your practice, whether that practice is successful or not. And so we're going to call them the conversational layer. The conversational layer being the first layer underneath. And then above the conversational layer is what we'll call the behavioral layer. So the conversational layer is the way in which you talk about the practice, whether it's to yourself or to other people. It's the conversations that you have, the things that you say. And then the behavioral layer is all the actions that you do or don't take up to and including the practice itself. Now, the behaviors are heavily connected to the things that we say. So these two layers reinforce one another, right? The things that we say influence how we act, and how we act influences what we say. So that's the interaction that we're out to explore, is the interaction between these two layers. So today, we're just going to take a look at the conversational layer, at that first layer at the bottom. And we're going to ask the question, what are the different types of conversations that can have, that can impact the quality of our actions? What are the things that we say that impact how we act? So in order to do that, we need to do two things. First, we need to identify a practice, and then we need to identify the values that are expressed within that practice. And the reason for this is that the relationship between your practice and your values will aid us in illuminating the different conversations that might come up. So we're going to put y'all into breakout rooms to actually do this exercise of identifying your practice and your values. However, before we do that, I think it would be useful for everyone to see an example of what exactly we're talking about. So is there anyone that would be up for doing a run through of this with Ash and myself, of identifying a practice and then choosing some values that you feel are represented by that practice? I know it's early, but if anyone maybe has a practice they've been thinking about in their lives, something they're excited to try out.
Let's go with Amelia as someone who can practice with you. So Amelia, can you unmute?
Sure.
Sure. Good morning, family.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike and Ash.
Good morning. Thanks for volunteering. So to start, is there a practice that you would like to have in your life, or that you could see being beneficial for yourself, maybe that you've been wanting to take on for a little while?
So we're talking about a new practice that I'm not currently doing, right? Or
Sure.
something I'm currently doing.
It preferably one you're not doing. It could be one that maybe you want it to be deeper or bigger in your life and you've been having trouble with that. But ideally, if it's something new, that's best.
Well, I can choose something around my diet because it's something that I've been wanting to change and to shift.
Mm-hmm.
So a more practice of choosing better options in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
like smoothies or more healthy drinks in the morning.
Sure.
Or something around my diet.
Okay, great. So we'll just say maybe choosing better options in the morning. And the thing I like about that is that it's specific, right? It's got a time of day in it. It describes kind of what you want to do. So that's a really good place to start. And again, for everybody, whatever you choose today, you can change it later. This is just to give you a structure. So you're not committed to this in a way that there's no flexibility. But so, okay, so great. So thank you, Amelia. So we have choosing better options in the morning. So that's your practice. Now what we want to do is identify a few core values that are represented in that practice. And if there's any that come to mind, we can give you a list of some examples, but if there are any particular values that maybe show up for you and what that is, you're welcome to just offer those as well.
I guess values around a healthy body.
Okay.
Yeah, just values around a healthier body.
Okay, great. So I'm going to actually ask you to maybe come up with a couple more. What we'd like ideally is for everyone to have maybe between 3 and 5 of them. So if you'd like, Ash, thank you. So Ash put a list up here. You can take a look. And they've actually got them categorized. So if there may be a couple others you see that might show up in that practice.
Sorry, I'm on my phone, so it's a little
Got it.
hard to read.
It's hard to read too. It's blurry.
It's a little blurry, huh?
Mhm.
Let me.
I would say just awareness around eating choices.
Okay. can say
I'm
aware.
vaguely, I'm just vaguely seeing the word, so I'm just looking for something.
Okay.
Maybe accountability, um, accountability for my choices.
Sure.
Let's see. And I'm gonna just choose creativity, coming up with creative options.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So this is going to be the first step of today, is identifying the practice and choosing some values that are embodied in it. And we're going to work on the relationship between them later. But this first piece is just to have everyone get grounded in kind of what they want to explore today. So we're going to put everyone into, and I think Ash, you can take the screen share. Thank you very much. So we're going to put everyone into breakout rooms. We're going to do, I believe, groups of 5. So everyone will have a couple minutes each to talk through a practice, to talk through some values. Feel free to just discuss among yourselves, share some ideas, see what comes up. And again, don't get too attached to finding exactly the right thing. What we're going to offer today really is a structure that you can substitute things in and out of as it suits you. So with that, are we good to go for some breakout rooms?
Yes, Mike, sorry about that. And so John Carl and Mike will have to come back in this space, everyone. And Sweetness, let me place you, because you weren't in the space earlier. Let me put you in a room. Where were we? Room 2. All righty, thanks for coming back, John Carl. I'm hoping that Mike will return as well. We'll need to, here's Terry. Folks are coming in, trickling in. So we'll need to do the exercise so that the Facebookers will experience it. So I'm hoping that Mike or Ash will return.
Mike and I was in a room together and I told him that we should go back. So
Oh, okay.
came back.
All right, let me see what's happening. Let me see, main session, I brought him back. I will assign Laura, Amelia, Case, Weakness, Terry to room 2. All right, Mike. I'm willing to work with you in this space so that the Facebook community can experience the
Got it.
activity. So let me know.
Sounds good. Okay, so I think this link will be clear for people.
All right.
Okay, Shani. So Shani, the purpose of this breakout room is to identify, like I said, a practice and then a few values of your own that are expressed through that. So is there a practice that you'd like to have in your life that maybe you haven't made stick yet or haven't really tried to cultivate entirely?
Oh, goodness. I have things that I've done for years, but I'm stagnant or slow moving in them. I don't know if we can use that or if it has to be something new.
No, it can be something that if you're having trouble, if you're finding yourself stuck with it, that works really well as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
So my practice with momentum and movement in my body
Okay.
in the form of fitness. So I'm someone that engages in HIIT as exercise, yoga, Pilates, running, walking. Yeah. So those are things, just examples of things that I do to keep my body flexible and strong.
Sure. Okay, great. Is there, so one thing that might be helpful is if you put kind of a timeline to it, or like, is there a particular amount of time or a time of day, or just as much specificity as you can of what you kind of envision?
No problem. So I'm an early riser.
Mhm.
So my preference is to engage in whatever movement practice early in the morning. I'm actually enrolled in a fitness class and was committing myself to going 3 times a week.
Okay.
And last week I didn't do it at all. You know, what I made up was I'm in mourning this week, so I'm not doing it. And
Okay.
so here we are in a new week. And then a couple of weeks before that, I was like kind of like talking myself out of it. So I'm in a new week now and I don't have it in my calendar, my schedule to go like I did in previous weeks.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So we could say that the practice would be early morning movement 3 times a week. Does
Yes.
that sound okay? Great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up, well, before I put it up, actually, just from off the top of your head, are there any values that you see that would be expressed in that kind of practice?
Yes. High vibration,
Okay.
physically, mentally, spiritually, because I tie my movement into my spiritual practice and my mental acuity.
Mhm.
And integrity.
Integrity. Got it.
I have one body and I know what to do to keep it aligned and balanced.
Sure.
So integrity of my physical being is really important. Value, trying to think if this will count,
Mhm.
and I'll explain it, but family/community.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's super important to me and how I show up physically, meaning what I look like, not from a place of vanity, but from a place of she honors what she practices as far as philosophy and mission and vision for life. So that, and then also being healthy so that I'm not a burden to my family or community. Yeah, so those things are very important to me, being around and being healthy, like long life and longevity.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, so you've got early morning movement 3 times a week. And then you have for values, vibration, specifically high vibration, integrity, family and community, and health. Okay, perfect. So that's that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. And then, so yeah, hopefully, in larger groups so everyone can kind of talk through. But what we're doing right now is just establishing kind of that ideal. And then we're going to look at, this is where it comes from. And then we're going to start looking at how do we set a path from here to there? How do we kind of set up conversations that support us to get from here to there?
Sure. And this first breakout room is 10 minutes, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. 6 left. Do you want to work with John Carl?
I was just going to ask John Carl, do you have a practice that you're
Okay. And I was thinking, and this came up for me yesterday, and it's better eating habits.
Mhm.
And when I say better eating habits, it's simply just eating on time and eating more often.
Okay. Oh, eating more often, so you don't eat enough.
Yeah, I don't eat enough. Now I actually forget to eat. And I would not eat until I'm like hungry sometimes.
Yeah. My husband, I don't understand how anyone can forget to eat. That's just that's a different conversation, but it just blows my mind that people can forget to eat. So, okay, perfect. So eating on time and eating more often.
Yes.
And then do you see any, off the top of your head, do you see any values that are expressed in?
Of course. Just being more healthier and maybe healthier.
I can put up, no, it's great. I've got this. Let me see if this has, there we go.
Oh, okay, it's a little clearer too.
Yeah.
And let's see, more clarity with my mind, because when I don't eat sometimes, when it gets to that point, I can't think clearly.
Mhm.
And as Shawnee said, just being not being a burden on my family if it comes to that, getting sick in the case.
Yeah.
And I need another one.
You don't need another one. My suggestion would be 3 to 5. You've got 3. You're welcome to pick a couple more, but no pressure.
Okay.
feel free to take a look if something attracts you.
It's so funny because I know they're there, but I can't think of it too much.
That's okay. You're good. Like you can stay there and you can always add more later.
Yeah, okay.
Let me see if I can.
Right. There's a comment in Facebook from, a comment in Facebook from Kyra. She mentions yoga, meditation, early morning, high vibration like Shawnee, practicing what I preach. And I'm adding to that, for me, I want to wake up early, go to sleep earlier, and do a money-making action every day, and conscious eating, like consistent conscious eating.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, and thank you, Kara. So, and for both of these, or for everybody, really, it's good to put as much specificity around it as you can. Again, you're not locking yourself into anything, but if you can have, I want to, eat at certain times, or I want to work out this many times a week, or I want to do it in the morning, or whatever it is, anything that just gives you a more vivid picture of what you're trying to create will be helpful. And again, these things can always be modified as you go through.
All right, I'm gonna bring the folks back into the space.
Perfect.
So prayerfully it's a 60-second countdown. So we have 2 new people in the space. We have Aaliyah and Amal in the space. I don't know if you want to do anything or just wait until everyone returns. It's up to you.
Yeah, sure. So hi, Leah. Hi, Amal. So we'll have a little sharing when everyone comes back so you can get a sense of what we've been talking about. But right now, we're just setting up the session for today. So what we're asking everyone to do is identify a practice that you would like to have in your life that you don't have in your life now. Maybe you've had a little trouble implementing it. Maybe it just hasn't really stuck for you. And then we're asking everyone to identify about 3 to 5 core values that are embodied in that practice, or that would be embodied in that practice if it was a regular thing in your life. So like I said, we'll take some sharing when everyone comes back so you can get a sense of how people did that. And please feel free to ask any questions.
Everyone is back in the space. Welcome back, everyone.
Okay, perfect. Welcome back, everybody. So would anyone like to share what they chose for themselves as far as their practice, as far as their values? Maybe tell us a little bit about why you chose what you chose. We'll do maybe 4 or 5 minutes of sharing, and then we'll move into the actual exercise itself.
I saw Kay Sweetness with a heart. I see Adam, but Kay, identify whether you are just giving love or if you want to share. And Adam, you can unmute yourself so you can work with Mike.
Sure. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
I just want to say that this exercise was pretty basic, and the practice that I want to incorporate is doing some workouts at Planet Fitness. In fact, I'm gonna start going this morning.
Nice.
And,
okay.
And the 3 core values that I chose was energy, strength, and confidence.
Perfect.
And the reason why I chose those 3 core values is because I want to, feel great about myself, and I just want to remind myself of how powerful that I am. Right. And this practice will be another way of saying to myself that I appreciate what you've done for me for all these years.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, that's great. And you're actually kind of getting a little bit into what we're going to talk about a little later, as far as the kind of conversations that we have that keep us motivated, or that maybe can undermine that a little bit. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome, Mike.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Teresa, good morning.
What I got of the whole thing was that I was saying that I had a problem with being committed to stuff and follow through. And I said the one thing that I do on a daily basis was be on Woo no matter what. And so Ms. Teresa said that there was a payoff that I get. So that was like a light bulb for me, because in order for me to, continue, I need to get a payoff. So what came to me was that, then why do I start things? Like what's the purpose of me starting something and I'm not following through it?
Hmm.
So I have to delve into the point of, why am I starting so many things and not following through?
Got
So
it.
that opened up a whole nother thinking for me. So that's something I'm gonna have to, work on.
Oh, that's
Look at-
great. So it sounds like you're trying to practice commitment, actually following through on commitments.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And do you see any core values that would be expressed through that sense of commitment and follow through?
Well, one of the things that the lady brought out to me, which she said, what is the payoff that you're getting for being followed through and committed?
Mhm.
And there is a great payoff when I'm in wake up. Like I said, if I'm asleep, no matter what, if I'm tired, my body's like, hey, it's time to wake up, and wake up to get, the blessing of what you're going to get on being on wake up. So I have to look at, why am I doing so many things that I'm not getting a payoff? So that
Sure.
was really good for me to look at.
Mike, can I jump in here real quick?
Please, yeah, please do.
Thank you. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to point to this really quick, that we can get, where are you? I want you. I see Mike spotlighted, but I want you. There you are. Okay. We can get really, really involved in a conversation in this question, this 3-letter question, why? Why am I? Why am I? Why am I? Why am I? And then our whole life starts to look like and become about, why am I? Why aren't I? Why am I? Why, right?
Mhm.
If you look right now, at your life, what is a practice that you want to have? Like, you want to have it daily, or you want to have it weekly, or you want to have it monthly, but you don't have it currently.
I want to finish some projects that I started.
What's an example of one?
Well, I signed up for some classes and I haven't finished them. And the classes will be very beneficial for me when I finish them, but I just have not been able to. My mind just, like, I have everything that I need to do the classes, just me just showing up for the classes. I mean, the class is not, I think if it had a time limit, I might do it more. I'm not really sure,
Mm.
but it doesn't have a time limit. So it's like whenever I could do it.
That's great. This is a great inquiry. So, and there's that question again, like, what if it had a time limit? Would that be the thing that would have us go? So that would have me go to the class. So what's one of the classes, just so we can get it really clear? What's one of
One class is a Reiki class.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So right there, let's have that, take that as your practice. So look at the questions that Mike's gonna move into now, from what works, what has me show up for my Reiki class or not show up for my Reiki class. And that's for everybody on the line. If you can get to, like Adam picked out a specific practice, going to the gym, going to Planet Fitness and working out every morning. Find something specific and it'll allow you to really look at the conversations that are driving you either to practice or not to practice.
I actually got the answer right now. I got an answer about why I'm fighting against it.
About one of the conversations?
About I understand why I'm fighting against, because it will bring healing to me. And I really believe that I'm afraid of, the healing, like being healed. I wasn't dealing with not being healed.
Perfect.
Because when I did it, I felt really, really good. So I have to understand of being afraid of being healed, because the Reiki did bring healing when I did it in class.
It's right on. So now,
Yeah.
so keep that. And now Mike's gonna start to move us through a series of questions, and you'll get for yourself even more information about that. So keep that, because that's one piece. And now start to look at some of these questions we're going to move into right now. Perfect, Teresa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. That really sets up perfectly what we're going to move into in terms of the different ways that we can talk to ourselves about why we do or don't do things. So we're going to you might have an opportunity to really look at the different ways that you have that conversation with yourself that could lead you to a different place ultimately. So thank you for that. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. So we're now going to move into exploring what we're calling the conversational layer underneath your practice. And for anyone who is just joining us or just hopping on Facebook, what Ash and I are suggesting for today is that underneath the practice are two layers. There's the layer of conversations and the layer of behavior. And today we're just going to look at that conversational layer. So this layer has three different types of conversations, and we're going to represent them visually in your notebook. And in order to do that, we're going to give them each their own space on the page. And I'm going to show you a demonstration of this in my own notebook, and then you can follow along and do it with yours. If you're not using a notebook, if you're using a device, you can just create columns on your paper. That's totally fine. But if you can do it on paper, you'll get a nice kind of image that will tell a bit of a story as well. So since we're analogizing the practice to a flower, we're going to create a pot for it to grow out of. So we're going to take our notebooks and turn them sideways like this. And you're going to draw an empty pot on the page, which is basically just a U. And you want it to be about a third of the page. And you want to leave a little space underneath it so you can write a few words. But you just want to create, just like a U, basically, in the middle of your page. It's about 1/3 of the size of the page. Also, in this particular exercise, our plant is sitting on a counter, and there are two windows next to our plant. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to put, if you're an artist, get arty with it. But if you're not, you can just draw a couple lines on either side to represent windows where sunlight is going to be coming through, hopefully. We've got our windows. And then if our practice flower is healthy, right, then it's going to grow strong and tall right up to here. So up here at the top of this page, we're going to write the actual practice itself. So I'm going to say that mine is meditating for 1 hour per day. I don't even meditate for 10 minutes a day, so I'm getting lofty this morning. But nonetheless, we've got our pot, we've got our practice up here where it's going to grow, and we've got our windows. And then if you want, you can like put a flower petals around it, decorate it, have fun with yourself. So now the question is that we have this all laid out on our page. How do we create conditions for this strong, healthy practice to grow? Well, it starts with how we talk about it. And the way that we talk about it goes on to inform the nature of our actions, which is what we'll be looking at next time if y'all would like to continue this conversation. So as I said, we've got our paper divided into thirds. And you can see there's a third here, right? Third here, third here. We've got it divided into thirds because there are 3 types of conversations. And each of these conversations creates a different motivational context from which we take action. That means that we'll likely take action no matter which conversation we're having. It's just that the quality of those actions is going to vary greatly based on which type of conversation we're having. So what do I mean by that? One type of conversation will motivate us to make committed, stable actions that produce ongoing results and therefore sustain a practice. And this is the conversation that comes from our values. It's the things that we say that reflect our personal self-expression, things that are innately important to us, or things that reflect our highest selves. And because this conversation comes from our core self, it generates actions that feel like an extension of us, rather than, say, like some outside force compelling us. So we're going to call these conversations our autonomy conversations. And we're going to write that underneath our pot. You're just going to write autonomy conversations underneath your pot. If you're using a device, you can just make a column and just title it autonomy conversations. But that is one type of conversation. So you can see I've got, in my terrible handwriting, autonomy conversations under my flower pot. So those conversations are like the healthy soil that support committed actions, right? But there are other two types of conversations that can thwart these kind of actions, that can undermine those types of actions. So these other two conversations also motivate us to take action. However, they motivate a very different kind of action. These conversations will motivate what you might call disingenuous, unstable actions, and they produce unreliable results, and they will potentially lead to an abandonment of effort. And the reason for this is that, unlike autonomy conversations, they're generated by forces that exist outside of us. So you can think of these two conversations as obstacles that will block out the sunlight that your flower needs in order to blossom to its full potential. So accordingly, we're going to put them on either side of the pot. So one of these conversations we'll call external pressure conversations. So you can go ahead and write external pressure conversations on one side of your pot. Thank you, Ash. So external pressure conversations are things that come from a desire to attain a reward, to avoid punishment, or to comply or conform. These are the things that we do because we have to. So for example, if my practice were meditating for 1 hour per day, some external pressure conversations might be, let's see, might be things like, one second, Ash, do you mind going to the next slide? Perfect, thank you. So some external pressure conversations might be, well, people would be impressed with how productive I could be if I were meditating for 1 hour a day. Or I might get the reward of people asking me about my meditation practice. An external punishment, well, I might be avoiding arguing with my husband, right? If I meditated more, then I might nag my husband less. I might want to avoid my therapist bugging me about starting meditating. I might do it because my therapist said that I should, because I'm complying with the authority that she has, right? Or maybe I'm conforming because all my friends are doing it. So these external pressure conversations are about some kind of reward outside of you, some kind of punishment outside of you, or something to do with authority or conformity. These are the things that we say that might motivate us to take on this practice from one of these places. And you're welcome to jot down, we'll put them in the chat, don't worry, we're going to have this everywhere for you to reference, but you are welcome to write down, external rewards, external punishments, or compliance and conformity. So these are the things that you say that might come from one of those places. Then the other conversation on the other side of the pot, we're going to call self-conscious conversations. So self-conscious conversations are things that come from a desire to protect our ego, to control ourselves. Yeah, you can take a screenshot as well. To control ourselves, or to punish or reward ourselves. So, for example, if my practice were meditating for 1 hour a day, some self-consciousness conversations might be, And Ash, if you don't mind going to the next slide. Thank you. So some self-consciousness conversations that would motivate me to meditate are, well, I want people to see me as a good yoga teacher. I want people to think that I'm really chill. If I want to control myself, well, I've got to figure out how to be less irritable. So I should start meditating because then I can be less irritable. You know, it's ridiculous how much trouble I have focusing. I need to start meditating. Or perhaps I want to punish or reward myself. So, you know, I've been really bad this week. I haven't meditated at all. I have to meditate today because I've been really like off with my practice. Or, well, if I meditate, then I can feel better about going and smoking weed and doing nothing later, right? Like I'll reward myself because I finally did this meditation. So these are things that we say that they do motivate us to take the action, but they motivate us from self-consciousness. And they ultimately don't lead to a sustainable practice. It treats the practice as a means to an end rather than an expression in and of itself. So these are conversations that lead to actions that we hold to a false standard. They don't resonate with our sense of self, and therefore they generate less overall benefit, and they're much less likely to be sustained over time. Perfect. Thank you, Ash. So the purpose of today's exercise, and we're going to go over these a little bit more if we're going to breakout rooms. I know there's a lot there. So the purpose of today's exercise is to give you a tool that helps you notice when you've slipped either into these external pressure or self-conscious conversations, and then to give you easy access back into an autonomy conversation. So what we're going to do for the remainder of our time together is begin writing out on paper as many examples as we can of each of these three conversations. Aaliyah, the flower pot is your autonomy conversations, and we're going to come back to that as well. But thank you for asking. I want to make sure you've got your paper set up. So, like I said, we're going to spend the rest of our time writing out as many examples as we can of each of these conversations, and we'll set you up to do that. We're not going to start. Yes, Amelia, we're going to give you examples. We're going to do a whole bunch of examples right now, actually. So we're going to begin, however, rather than with the autonomy conversations, we're going to begin with the other two conversations, the ones that get in the way. We're going to start with the external pressure and the self-consciousness. So in a moment, we're going to put people back into breakout rooms where we're going to invite you all to inquire together into the conversations that show up from these two places as they relate to your practice. It's possible that you'll have a lot more self-conscious conversations and external pressure conversations. That's true for me. Oftentimes with practices, it's sort of something internal that we're trying to do. There may be external benefit, but I would invite you to not worry too much about how many of each one you have. Just see what's true for you and see what ideas come up in the conversation. So with all that said, is there anyone that would be up for volunteering to walk through just a few of each of these conversations? Again, you don't have to come up with a bunch, even if you have one or two or three of each, just to kind of help solidify it in people's minds. Is there anyone that would be up for volunteering? Amal, amazing.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Let me know if you need any support with seeing the prompts again or anything like that, and we can put them back up for you.
Okay. I am in a practice now, excuse me. And I think the practice started out with, I need to do this because I said I would, number one. I was part of an organization that every morning we meditated for an hour, and I just could not sustain that. So I'm in a situation where I know meditation is good. We talk about it all the time. So there was guilt there. So that would be the external. And actually that would be the internal too, because I was punishing myself for not doing it. Let's see. I didn't get any pressure except for the internal. Most of the pressure came internally. To where I say I say that I'm this, and then I'm not doing that kind of thing.
Yep.
Am I being specific enough?
You are, and actually, it's a great example because some of these can fall under either one. So
Yes.
guilt can be you're making yourself into like a bad person. That's an
Mhm.
internal thing. Guilt can also be someone just kind of punishing you, right? Like you're bad and you just, it's just that external. So it can be, they can be a little mushy. They can go in either place. It's really about recognizing it.
Right.
And what I would advise everyone to do is really write down the conversation, the thing that you say to yourself, like the actual words that you say. So it could be like, "Oh, I'm so bad for not meditating today," or whatever it is for you.
Sweetness says, what does it look like when you punish yourself? For me, it's like, it's an internal conversation
Mhm.
about not being authentic,
Yeah,
not
got it.
being true to my word, made a promise to God and I'm not keeping it. So I am a bad person and
Mhm.
I beat myself up internally. So I don't have externally what it looks like is that I don't have a place to stand. If I'm coaching someone or as an elder talking to a younger person and say, well, you know what? In order to get your life to get centered, you really meditation is very important. And then I think to myself, yeah, but you're not doing it. So
Yeah.
I'm not being I'm being false faced. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm not being authentic. And so out of that, I was beating myself up because of that. And that might have had me step back from being a contribution to people around me because I'm full of crap.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. As we
I
all.
want to use the other word, but I figured I'll be easy. I'm full of crap. Okay. Poo-poo.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Thank you. And this is, you're kind of pointing to something I think will be true for a lot of people, certainly for myself, which is that we're probably going to have more conversations in which we punish ourselves than other people punishing for us. But certainly there may be external benefits that we see to taking on the practice. But I appreciate your honesty this morning on this practice. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Are you finished with me? Because
And
there was one other thing though. There was one other thing. I have now incorporated that part into my life. And so now I'm on the external part of it where I get to say, oh, I can't do that because I'm meditating at that time. It's really a slippery slope. You know what I'm saying? It is a slippery slope.
Start using the GATA stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you. And then what we're going to do at the end is start saying how we can actually transmute these conversations into autonomy conversations and find the empowerment in them. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, perfect. Are there any questions before we pop into the rooms? We will put a reference slide into the chat. So when you go into your breakout room, you can click on that and it'll give you the prompts for each conversation. So you don't have to have these memorized. But if there are any questions, be great to clear those up before y'all go off to your rooms.
All right. Just to jump in, while folks let that marinate, we have 6 minutes before the 8 o'clock hour, and I know we'll be in breakout rooms and when we arrive at 8. So is there anything that you and Ash want to say before we go into the breakout rooms so that that piece won't be on our minds?
Yeah, I mean, thank you all for being here this morning. If you're not able to stay for the breakout rooms, feel free to, if you wrote down just the prompts themselves, this is certainly something that you can do on your own time to start kind of investigating the things that you say that maybe get in the way of sustaining the actions. Feel free to, feel free to send a note as well if you'd like to get the support for the autonomy conversations as well, so you can kind of do that. But yeah, thank you for being with us this morning. Ash, do you have anything you want to?
Yeah, I'll put my information in the chat in case anyone wants to send anything. But if you're someone who's transitioning off the line at 8 o'clock, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for what you did look into in your life. And we hope that you got value out of this exploration. And we invite you to continue to use the resources from this session to explore the conversations driving the practices you do and do not have in your life.
Definitely. Yeah. And do reach out if you'd like to get these prompts for yourself so you can work on them on your own time if you do need to go.
Okay, so how long will the breakout rooms be? Because we are totally ready.
Great. So we're going to do 15 minutes.
Okay, still. All right, awesome. So I'm gonna send folks in. If you, yes,
One-
Ash.
So the link to this sheet is not working for me to look at. So here's what I recommend. I'm gonna pull up this screen share. And I recommend that you take a photo of this with your cell phone before you go in.
Mhm.
These are the questions to ask yourself when you're in the breakout room. What are the external pressure conversations? What are the self-conscious conversations? When you look at this practice that you don't currently have in your life, you know, this like I've got playing the piano here. When you look at this practice, the one that you're looking at here, what are the external pressure conversations that are going on in the background? What are the self-conscious conversations? And then you can use these subcategories here to hone in even closer on what they are. So take a photo of that if you can. If you're on your phone, you can do that thing where you do the screenshot, that thing where you press the two buttons at the same time and it takes a picture of the, you know, that thing.
Ash,
Perfect.
I'm sorry, question. Would it be beneficial to have the next slide with the examples? for
Yes,
folks to
Sure.
learn on?
absolutely.
Thank you. So this may be a better thing to screenshot so you can have support.
Sure. Yeah. And really get as specific as you can. I mean, really write it as, you know, quotes that you actually would say to yourself or to someone else, just to really be able to identify those things a little more sharply.
Awesome. So I'm about to, if it's okay with Ash and Mike to take us in.
Yeah.
Yep. Go for it.
All right, wonderful. And Kenyofu just reminded us of a new feature in Zoom. I'm not sure if Ash and Mike are around to hear this. And let me assign other folks who do not have breakout room assignments. So Sophia and Laura was in with Adam. Okay, beautiful. All right, here we go. So whomever you wish to work with, myself or John Carl for the Facebookers, we're ready.
Is one of you excited to go?
Are you pointing at me, John Carl?
Like Shawnee's ready to go.
Thank you for drafting me. I love it. All right.
You can also both go at the same time. We can just make it a conversation. How about that? Just
I'm down for whatever will serve the community and myself, of course.
sure. Yeah. Most importantly. Well, Shawnee, anything that you're seeing for either of these conversations?
I was looking at the external piece and I want to use the proper language, the external conversation, but there was one that stood out for me about me being concerned about people looking at me. Like I went to a family reunion in July and my uncle hadn't seen me in a long time. And he was like, "Oh, you're getting fat." And I had such a hard reaction to that. I was like, what the F? First and foremost, I'm like, you patriarch, don't go there.
Yeah.
And it just stayed with me. And I know I'm not fat.
Yeah.
I weigh more than what he's accustomed to. But I was just like we were there for 4 days and it was just on my mind that he said that to me. Every time I would look at him, I'm like, ugh. And then I was just like internal thinking about myself and it's like, ugh. You know, so yeah, the external thing about what people might say about my transformed body.
I say you might need a different conversation first just to have with him. and then we can look at
I
that.
did. Actually, after the reunion was over, we spoke later on about it, and I let him know how that landed on me. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, come on, dude, like,
Yeah.
you got to work on this.
Got it. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. But so it sounds like there was some self-talk maybe then as well that could creep in that would be not super helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and this is something, that now that you're saying that, to clarify, when I was working with Amal, there's guilt from the internal sense of making yourself feel bad about yourself. But the difference between the self-conscious and the external is that guilt and self-conscious would be, I feel bad, I'm a bad person, whatever it is. In the external sense, it would be someone's annoying me because they're making me feel guilty, right?
Right.
It's just like, it's like hitting me and I just want to stop hitting me. So can
Right.
you stop making me feel guilty? Okay, cool. So John Carl, anything that you say to yourself or other people?
Definitely. The funny thing about this is that Shawnee and I are on different sides of the spectrum, because my internal conversation is that I'm getting too small. I don't eat enough and I'm losing weight. I recently, and I used to weigh like 155 was my standard. I'm down to 148, 49. And this, I couldn't get my weight back up for the last 2 years. I got hit by a car in 2019, and I was more active. I was going to the gym more. So I was like not moving around for like the whole COVID. I was just still. And I just have this thing though. I have my metabolism is like, it takes everything away I eat. But I believe I don't eat enough. And then sometimes I can get in that thing where I eat a lot, but I just don't gain the weight. So I think I'm not. I need more weight on me. That's my thing. And it's me telling myself this. I don't. Well, I have some family that may talk about me. Oh, you lost a lot of weight, but it's more about me. That internal, self-conscious conversation.
And so here, let me put this up actually really quick. So do you see specifically in that, which of these three that it fits into on the self-conscious side? There's no right answer. I'm just curious what shows up for you.
My ego, to protect
Okay.
my ego.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Perfect. For either of you, anything else that you see about either how it might benefit you out in the world, how it might prevent you from, some kind of hurt or annoyance in the world, maybe something that you see about, oh, I should be doing this better, I should be doing it worse, or, I don't want to look a certain way.
But was that for me or Shawnee?
Either one.
Either one, okay. And yeah, I don't want to look a certain way, When I was like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was about 160 pounds, 65 constant. And it was hard for me to get there. And, I haven't been able to get back there again. So it's about me looking, having that reflection and looking at old pictures, like, I don't look like that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was say, what's the specific thing you say? So I don't look like that anymore, or is there like, I should look like that, or?
I should,
Yeah.
I want to, and I should.
Yeah.
If I eat a little bit more, I can, but
yeah,
I got that unusual thing where I forget to eat.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from the constant working. My mind is always going about what can I do to. I'm self-employed, solopreneur. So my mind is always about just keeping my finances balanced, and that, I'm always working. I have to do this. I have to create more, and not creating for myself, physical self.
Sure. Got it. So Shawnee, are you working with the early morning movement? Is this your practice for the day? Okay.
Mhm.
Is there anything that you see around either like, I don't know, do you get a sense of like external praise at all? Is that something that you might motivate yourself with, or is there like kind of an ego or a self-control thing that you see?
I definitely want people to see me as healthy and physically strong.
Hmm.
And to hear some of the things that I heard in my younger years about my physical being.
Hmm.
You know, how strong I look, how my arms look, how fit I am.
Yeah.
And then also the correlation between my fitness and my age, which people make up that when you're in your 50s, you know, there's a level of like you're supposed to be falling apart. And I
Sure.
like dispelling that myth.
Yeah.
Mm.
I said, well, you just did dispel that myth, because I would not have put you in your 50s.
Yeah, I'm 53. Just turned
Wow.
53.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see, we've got some from Facebook. Sharina, consistent movement for 30 minutes in the morning, at least 3 times a week. Values integrity, timeliness, and compassion. Awesome. So as with all these, sometimes it can be a little tricky. And, you know, just because maybe it's a new concept, to really kind of identify some of the specific conversations. But it can be like, for myself, even, you know, how do I link the desire to have a meditation practice to some external rewards? But I do see how it's like, oh, well, I relate to, if I was meditating more, I would get more of this thing done. And then someone would recognize that. And then maybe, you know, maybe I could make more money because I'd be more productive during the day, and I could, you know, charge people more for something or whatever it might be.
I wanted to point to this piece about control.
Yeah.
You know, I make up that you know, I should have more motivation to
Mhm.
get up. Like, I'm a weak person because I can't get up and stay in this practice. Like, why aren't you doing that? You know the benefits, you know, you coach people around doing really difficult things. You know how to do this.
Mhm.
You know, stopping and starting. And then because of the punishment that I make up, that my fitness instructor, she notices when I'm not there, even though there are other people that are in the group, she'll be like, Shawnee, you coming and staying this time? Shawnee.
Oh, no.
So, and she'll pick me to demonstrate the exercise, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, yo, if she keeps doing this, then every time I'm not there, it's gonna
Mhm.
be a big deal, you know. So there's lots of layers from me,
Yeah.
you know, to this ego-based, control-based, and then concern about punishment, that self-conscious conversation that gets generated and runs the show sometimes.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, yeah, you hit almost all of those just in that example. And I mean, it's great that you noticed that. I mean, like you said, when she says, are you coming and staying the whole time, right? That creates a context of punishment, because then if you don't go, then she's talking about you and other people are thinking or whatever it is. Yeah, it can be, I found for myself when I was coming up with these examples, and I really appreciate what you just said, because it was very honest. And to have those moments where you say maybe a really ugly thing about yourself that you don't like to think that you say, and you say it really rarely, but every once in a while it just pops out. And it's like, that's the thing to notice, is that you have that one thing that, you know, you say in your kind of darkest moment, but it is there. So yeah, thank you for really looking at that.
Not a problem.
Can I say something?
Please. Yeah.
So I'm doing this exercise on one topic, and that's me going to sleep early and waking up earlier. And like if I have this done correctly, the autonomy conversation it's like an excuse buster.
Mm. Yeah.
So like I just can't even have this conversation anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wait, say it one more time.
The autonomy conversations.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. So if I understand what the autonomy conversation is about, it's like an affirmation for what it is that I can do to stay in power, right?
It is, yeah, and we're going to get into specific examples of it, but that's exactly what it is. It's like that sort of, I like the idea of it being a power-based conversation. I've never thought about that before, but it's the thing that's grounded, deep within you. So it is where actually the power exists.
Right. I think I jumped ahead then, because you're not doing the autonomy, right?
We're not, but that's okay. Like if you're excited and inspired to do it, you're on the right track with it. The main thing we're gonna do is just give some prompts and some specific ways to think about it. You've got it as far as what it is, but we're just gonna give people kind of a scaffolding to really dig into it specifically. But yeah, the idea is part of the reason we're doing these two first is that it will give you a lot of material to find those autonomy conversations, because all of these conversations are just kind of an inversion of something empowering. So I think it can be helpful to lay out all the stuff that's disempowering first, and then kind of do the alchemy on it to find the power, as you illustrated.
That was me multitasking and not fully focused.
That's okay. We're keeping it loose, Are you seeing anything interesting about some of the external conversations that you have, or the kind of self-conscious conversations that you have?
I don't know if I'm seeing anything. I mean, I don't know. It's really resistance, and it's there's another word I'm looking for, like stubborn. It's like I am resistant and I am resistant. Like there's another word I'm feeling like there is there, but I'm stuck in my ways. That's what I want to say. I'm in this habitual pattern of what I'm comfortable with. That's what it is. I'm not willing to make a change. I haven't yet decided to make a change, do something different so that I can see what else there is on the other side.
Got it. And so would you say that's more related? That sounds like it's related either to kind of a punishment of yourself or to a protection of your ego.
Not punishment.
Or maybe control.
Probably control. Control,
Yeah.
like I don't want to step outside of what I know.
Mm-hmm.
And getting up early is going to have me do something different, and that do something different is go to sleep early and go to sleep. It just means it's going to be a snowball of changes.
Got it. Yeah, I definitely can relate to that, of just imagining all the things I would have to do that would be better for me that I don't want to start doing because I'm so, kind of used to the way that I'm doing things, even if it's not entirely working necessarily. So how much time do we have left on the breakout rooms?
The seconds are winding down. They're coming back in 13 seconds.
Okay.
Just want to welcome Nastasia and Phyllis and Louise and Afriye into the space. We're just doing an activity and the community is back.
Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to, if anyone would like to share some of the conversations that they discovered, this would be a great opportunity to do that. We have a few people that just joined us. So if you just joined, what we're doing right now is looking at a practice that we'd like to have in our lives that we don't yet have in our lives. And we're starting to look at some of the things that we say that motivate us to take actions for different reasons. So right now we're looking at conversations that we have in regard to this practice that relate to some kind of external pressure on ourselves or some kind of self-consciousness. So if there's anyone from this, Ash, yeah, you want to go?
We had a theme show up in our room that I was really struck by. I'm wondering if maybe Sophia would be willing to share. We had one particular conversation show up in our room, but Sophia was doing great work around practice in her life. Are you willing?
Thanks, Ash. Yes. I was talking about working out every morning. And I believe the theme you're talking about is the phrase that I use, that I have to do it because I have to maintain my health. And then we started a fruitful conversation around the term I have to versus maybe changing those words to I get to connect them a little more to your personal values. Because what was it, as you said, I have to is not an empowering conversation to have with yourself. So it doesn't motivate you to keep going. So yeah. Thank you for that, Ash. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Sophia. And so, Sophia, really quick, do you see, I'm just wondering for yourself, if you see, or maybe even feel a difference when you say I have to versus I get to, because when I hear I have to, it sounds like something that's coming from outside of your body. It doesn't sound like something that's coming from within you. Do you feel something different with those two?
I do. And it makes me think a little bit more internally. I think that I have to is coming for me for both internal and external. External, yes, because I know my doctors are saying that to me every time I see them. You have to work out more, you have to move more. That's just something that you have to do. And then for me, the have to is that I have to do this for my kids. I have to be able to see them, get older and grow up. And you're too young, you have to do this. So for me, it's double. So that I get to is powerful. And I listen to my mama and I'm sorry, I can't remember the other women in my room, but it was powerful to listen to them talk about getting to do the things that they do with their grandkids, because that definitely could be me, right? I get to get up and, take a walk with my son. I get to do those things. And sometimes people that are not controlling their diabetes and not being able to do the things that I'm able to do because they're more far along in their disease than I am. So yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Powerful. Yep.
Can I ask really quick, what were your values? Because when you talk about your family, and then I'll let you go, but because we're going to get into this next, what were the values that you identified?
I didn't write down the values. I got on the call like around 7:30. So I jumped in the conversation around the internal, external. But when I think about my personal core values, family is always number one for me.
Yeah.
Family, teamwork, integrity is at the top of the list.
Awesome.
For me. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sophia. So yeah, we're going to look at those next in terms of flipping those conversations to more values-based conversations. So you've kind of set us up really well for that. Is there anyone else that would like to share anything that they saw in that last breakout room, that last conversation about these external pressure or self-consciousness conversations? And as Sophia pointed out, it's very common to have those conversations take place in both places, right? It can be something you feel from the world, but you can also be motivating yourself in a way that isn't values-based, but is still internal, right? Putting pressure on yourself to be a certain way.
Yes, I like the fact that she said, I get to complete my Reiki class, not I have to. So that changed the whole dynamic of me looking at completing stuff. It's like, it's a gift to do it. It's not even about a pressure, but it's a gift for me to do it. It'll be a gift to myself and to others when I complete it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, y'all are moving us right into the next and the final part of this conversation. So we can go ahead and shift into that unless there's anyone else that would like to share anything about what they saw in this last breakout room conversation. Otherwise, we will move to our final piece. And I should just advise everyone that we're probably going to maybe run about 10 minutes over. We're not going to run very much over, but this last conversation, we want to have a good chunk of time for everyone. So with that, we're going to move into our final piece here. So we're going to spend some time now generating examples of autonomy conversations. And again, these are the conversations that come from a place of what we care about, what we know is possible, or just what we enjoy, right? Just self-expression and pleasure. So for example, if my practice were meditating for 1 hour per day, which would be a great practice, then some autonomy conversations might be, I want to dedicate a part of my morning to something that grounds me, or I want to stay connected to my husband in moments of conflict, right? These are both things that I care about. Examples of things I might say from what I know is possible. I want to become less attached to my initial emotional reactions, or I want to hear everyone from a place of understanding. So those are things that I know are possible for myself. And then finally, just what we enjoy. Well, I want to feel more of a connection to the present moment, simply because I enjoy that experience and nothing else. Or I love rediscovering parts of myself I had forgotten were there. I found that although I don't have this meditation practice, I do things that create similar benefits. And I see that I have kind of rediscovered ways of being that I didn't realize I had access to anymore. And I just enjoy that. Now you'll see at the bottom of this slide, I have contentment, freedom, and wisdom. So those are 3 values that I chose. And if you look through these examples, you can kind of see those values showing up, right? So I want to dedicate a part of my morning to something that grounds me is an embodiment of contentment, or I want to stay connected to my husband in moments of conflict. That's an embodiment of freedom to me, right? Is like being free from getting caught in some emotional experience. I want to hear everyone from a place of understanding, might be an example of wisdom, right? Being able to listen beyond what might be showing up in the moment and actually be connected to people just as humans, despite this conversation itself. Feeling more connected to the present moment, right? Just enjoying the freedom of that and the contentment of that, and frankly, the wisdom of that, right? So one thing you might want to do is at the bottom of your pot is actually write your values. So for example, at the very bottom of the pot, I'm going to write contentment, freedom, wisdom, and then I'm going to put a little, and Ash, I know we're going out of order in the slides, but I'm going to show this really quick here. So I just wrote in my values, and I don't know if you want to maybe take the slide down just so people can see this. But I just wrote contentment, freedom, and wisdom at the bottom of the pot with a little piece of dirt over it, which is mostly just like for the illustration purpose, but then they're kind of there and you get the sense that these conversations are growing out of that. So what we're going to do for this final breakout room and for the final piece of today is just spend a little time generating these autonomy conversations. And where I encourage you to look is from a combination of your values, and maybe they just come up easily. My guess is that everyone will have a few that really easily just pop up for them. But at the same time, to look at your external pressure and self-conscious conversations and see, well, what could I transmute or transform into an autonomy conversation? So if I say, I need to be less irritable, well, the autonomy version of that is I want to be more connected to the present moment. So look for these opportunities to shift what you're saying to a place that comes from your values. Sophia did this really well, right? When she talked about thinking about her, like coming from a place of family, as opposed to coming from a place of I should be doing this differently, but rather, wow, I really care about my kids. And so what's a conversation that comes from that place? Because that's a much more motivating and sustainable place to come from than worrying about, what a doctor is going to say or how I'm going to feel about myself or whatever it might be. So before we go into breakout rooms, one more time, it'd be great if someone could just run through maybe a couple of examples just to make sure everyone is really kind of seeing what this is. If there's anyone that would be up for talking through just a couple of things that come up for them. And then we can pop back into the breakout rooms. It may also be that everyone's just like on it and ready to go. I'm happy to, should we just pop back into the breakout rooms? Is that good for everybody?
It would be great. Go ahead.
So,
Yeah. Oh, I was saying it would be great to have an example, but I will go with what you all want to do. It's cool.
I need an example.
All right.
Great, thank you. And who said that?
I feel- Whose voice was that? Hello?
Theodora.
The Theodora.
Oh, good.
Theodora, would you be up for maybe actually practicing this really quick?
Okay.
You don't have to. You
Oh,
don't
you're
have to.
right there. You're right there. Yeah.
Oh, you were in the room with Ash last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so is there anything, could you maybe tell me what's the practice that you're working with?
When you say what's the practice that I'm working with, I don't understand. What we were talking about basically was the fact that I was saying that I needed to exercise and lose weight and be stronger because I'm very involved in the care of my grandchildren. So, and that I needed to keep my own physical self up and going to be able to, which I'm appreciative of. So I had started walking in the mornings again, which has been very beneficial. As opposed to saying I need to do it, I guess my motivation is that I always say I'm thankful to God that I'm able to do it to help with my grandchildren.
Okay, that's a perfect example. So I'm thankful to God that I'm able to do it. So if we look back really quickly at these prompts, so we have, these are conversations that come from what we care about, what we know is possible, or what we enjoy. And so you have your practice of exercising and losing weight. Right now you're walking. And so what we want to do really quickly is identify some values that these are coming from. So what are some core values that are represented in this practice? It sounds like family might be one of them.
Family is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Right. Self-help, self-love.
Okay.
To be able to continue to be functional.
Maybe like, could you say like vitality?
Vitality would be
Maybe.
one.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So what are some conversations from that would motivate you? Things you might say that would motivate you to take this practice on, that come from a place of something you care about, something you know is possible, or something that you enjoy?
Well, one of the things that motivates me is that when I do it, I feel better.
Okay.
Okay. That's one of the things. And the fact that I am losing weight and it makes me feel better because I look a little better.
So you could say one conversation would be, I know that I'll feel better, right? That's like, that's what I know is possible. I know that I'll feel better when I'm done walking. So I'm going to go for a walk.
Right.
For losing weight, like
exercise bike because I know my knees will feel better.
Right, exactly. So these are all, these are great conversations for what's possible, right? These are things that you say because that's something that matters to you, just for yourself, right? Like it benefits you, you have a better life because of it, right? Exactly. Or even what you care about, right? So I know that when I do this, I'm going to look better, I'm going to lose some weight, and that's something that I care about. Right, that comes from the self-love and the vitality. So it's just looking at what are the things you say from these places that are just completely internal, that are for you. And they may benefit other people like your family, but it's because you care about being there for your family, not because your family is making you be there.
Oh yeah, no.
That kind of make.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Thank you. Anything else?
No, I'm complete.
Good place to start. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Theodora.
You're welcome.
So if there are any questions, please feel free to put a hand up. Otherwise, we're going to put everyone back into the same breakout rooms and you'll have some time to talk through examples of these conversations. Again, feel free to take other people's. It sounds like you all had some great conversations going on in those rooms. And then at the end, we'll see you back here. We'll have kind of a final share and then we'll close it out.
All righty, here we go. Oh, Ash, you
just-
staying this time?
I'm staying this time.
Oh.
I have to plug my headphones in or they're going to die. It's gonna be
No
really, really awkward.
So for the Facebookers, how do we want to proceed? We have all three of us, Kenyofu, John, Carl, and myself, that was working with you. And now we have a new participant, so they'll witness and watch. Folks are
Perfect.
still rolling in.
Awesome. Well, is anyone seeing anything right off the bat?
John Carl, you see anything? Or Kenyofu?
I'm not ready.
Okay,
No.
no pressure.
My words, so I'm writing the words in the dirt, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of fun, but yeah, I just put the values down there just as like a sort of symbol of what they do. And then you can kind of start, I guess the way I imagine is people just kind of start, stacking conversations on top of it. Whatever works for you.
So we're talking about the autonomy conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can get the best out of the day if I start early.
Okay.
That way.
Mm-hmm.
And I will create power and be more productive.
Hmm.
And I actually enjoy the quiet in the early morning.
Cool. Okay.
I just don't get to see it.
Yeah. Very good. So would you say that those are in the what you care about, what you know is possible, or what you enjoy? Kind of a little bit of both, or all three?
Yeah, all three. So the words I put in the dirt are productive, adaptable, and disciplined.
So do you feel, are there any of those of those three, are there any conversations that you haven't implemented any of those into? So in the conversations you gave, do you feel like all those values are present? Or there are some other things you think you could say that might embody those? How would discipline relate to what you care about? What's maybe like a motivational thing you might say to yourself that reflects caring about being disciplined? Or what you know is possible about being disciplined?
I can rely on myself, and others can rely on me, and I guess then that's also me being productive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Like that possibility of being reliable. Cool, thank you. Shawnee or John Carl, anything that's coming up for you? We can talk through something.
Yeah, I'm down to talk it through. I haven't landed fully on the statement, but what's in the soil for me is aliveness, power, and agility. That word comes up for me.
Cool, okay. Power and agility, that's a fun word. Do you see right off the bat any connection to something you care about, something that is possible, or something you enjoy from those three things, even if there's no statement yet?
Yeah, what I care about is serving. And when I'm fully alive in my body, and when I'm activated in my power, and when I feel agile, not just physically, but mentally agile, like present and on it, how I serve is amplified to the 100th power. Like, I feel it outside of me and inside of me.
Yeah, I know where that hits me, but where does that hit you in terms of something you care about, something that's possible, or something that you enjoy?
That my heart is fully present in my life. That I get to be contribution to people. And when I'm physically powerful and healthy and balanced, they get the full me, like truly.
Yeah. That's awesome. I hope you're writing those down. Those
Oh
are
no,
all
I'm
great.
just talking through it.
Because those are gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an unusual exercise in a way, because you have to kind of find your way to the conversation, but it's really just like, okay, where does agility show up in what I know is possible? You know, where does aliveness show up in what I enjoy?
Yeah.
Oh
my.
You kind of find your way to the things that you might say.
I like to share.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I like being active and I like feeling strong, but to take it back a little bit, when doing this exercise in my self-conscious conversation, something that became very clear to me is a voice that said, if I don't work, I don't deserve to eat. And I can replay that to childhood and you know, something that, you know, my father may have said. I get a lot of subconscious thoughts from the things that my father told me growing up. And that's something that stood out for me. And when it hit me, I was like, wow, I see that clearly now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so then can you see a way to maybe flip that into some kind of autonomy conversation, like what becomes possible, or what do you care about, right? Like there's probably some part of you, there's something true in there for yourself that maybe is getting covered up by the self-consciousness, but
well, and looking at that specific statement, if I don't eat, I can't work. It's like totally reversed.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
reversing that, I can see where it would be more beneficial for me. So that stood out. You know, I have to be healthy in order to do these things that I care about.
Sure.
Which is working. I enjoy my work.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's great. Yeah. And then, you know, earlier I had mentioned that with the two kind of outside conversations, the practice becomes a means to an end. But, you know, in this case, it's a means to to the values, right? It's a means to an end, but it's a means to like the expression of yourself. So when you recognize that what you care about is being effective at work, then it's like, oh, well, I can eat because, you know, I'm going to eat regularly because I care about being effective at work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really great. That's cool, man. Thanks for that. Ash, are you seeing anything interesting for yourself?
Yeah, I've been looking at playing the piano 10 minutes a day, which is something that I've wanted to do. But I stopped doing. I completely stopped doing. I was doing it maybe more like 3 days out of the week or 4 days out of the week, and then I just stopped. So it's really powerful to get clear about what the external pressure and self-conscious conversations actually sound like. Like one of the self-conscious conversations that has been running is, it's better to be someone who's disciplined than not. It's one of the conversations.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. All
That is some
right.
control. Yeah.
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 So, and then what I actually saw, the values that it's like, it's growth and beauty. So it's not just that it's like, it's that growth. What I love about it is that it is challenging. It's not something that's something I love about it, is that it's not easy for me to do. But then there's also this huge payoff in that when something clicks, the chord progressions are so beautiful. So, you know, it's not like the growth it's not just the growth on its own that would be sufficient for it. But what I got to about that is, oh, I actually enjoy the complexity and the challenge. oh, like, oh, that calls me into something.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, looking at what I know is possible, that was very fruitful too, because I can see, it's like, I know that people can master things that they don't start doing until their adulthood, you know? I know that mastery of something is possible, even if you don't start something until your late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you still can master something. And you still can be exploring that next space in the direction of mastery, no matter where you start. So that's what I put for my conversation is mastery is possible and mastery starts where you are.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I love the idea that mastery is possible, because that is, you know, we so often talk about how difficult it is to take on a new thing at a age past the age of 9, basically, you know, and this idea of like, oh, I'm too old to learn something. And so really recognizing that that's just a conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah, that's all it is. It disappears. But I liked earlier what you said too, just about like the chords sound so beautiful. You know, like I just enjoy hearing the sound of some chords. So I'm going to go play piano just to hear that sound for a minute.
Yeah, and like this guy, this Chopin guy, he wrote these chord progressions that are like, they're beyond what I would ever, what I could possibly think of right now and where I am. So to, you know, to be able to like get into his world and how did you think to go from here to here to here? It's so beautiful. Like that is fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Two things came up for me as I listened to Ash share. Is Louise Hay, who I loved. She transitioned, I think a few years ago. Is it her? Yeah, that was constantly reinventing herself. Well into her 80s. I think she was in her 70s or 80s when she started ballroom dancing. Then she was like, I'm going to change my handwriting. You know, I don't know why she wanted to do it. She just chose to do it. And, you know, just constantly, and, you know, I talked about aliveness, but tapping into aliveness in the season that she was in. And so what came up for me as Ash was sharing is that if I don't accept the body that is alive in this moment, this 53-year-old body, the 60-year-old body, the 70-year-old body, that anything that I think that I'm going to do in reference to movement is not going to have the full impact that I'm looking for, which is aliveness, powerfulness, and agility, that I haven't fully accepted the various bodies that I've been in over the course of my aging process. And that creates resistance. There's a part of me that's like, there's nothing you can do about this body because this body is old. This body doesn't respond like it used to. This body retains fat, this body. But if I don't accept, then anything that I shared with you about the words or the energies that I want to plant in the soil will only grow something that is inconsistent and weak in its foundation.
Yeah, I love that idea of like accepting all these different bodies. So is there a particular statement now that you could generate that comes from what's possible that says what you just said?
Yeah, I was trying to get to it. It's something with aliveness in it. Oh gosh, let me work with it.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Yeah, no,
There's something with aliveness in it for sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you for that.
This has been really present for me today. Just how addicted we are to getting better. Like just how, oh gosh. Just like we don't want to be in the part where we're identifying the external pressures and the self-conscious conversations. We want to get to the part where we put the fix in, where we put the solution in, and just how human that is. Like, yeah, really.
Yeah, I really, I had mentioned that one of my values is freedom, and I've been describing that lately as just this moment-to-moment experience of not getting caught on things. And Shani, kind of like you're saying, like that to me is freedom, right? Like I accept my body every moment, like this is the body I have, and it can always be the body that, I want it to be. But I first have to just accept it for what it is. And then anything becomes possible with it. And that to me is just kind of like the definition of freedom.
Oh, I love what you just shared. And I don't know if you'll coach me if it's alignment, you and Ash. So I wrote, this body is alive with possibility, just as it is and just as it is not. But I like this body is alive. This body in this moment is alive with possibility.
I think that's perfect. I mean, it's the question, the only question to answer is, does this motivate you to take an action? Because all these conversations, whether autonomy, self-conscious, external, they all motivate you to take an action. It's just what kind of action and how sustainable is it? So if that's a statement that motivates you to take action, then that's a perfect conversation,
and just recognizing, and this is egoic in its core, that I want it to be quick like it used to be, a quick transformation like it used to be.
Yeah.
In this body as it is, it takes more time, and it's all good. I'm alive. Yeah. I'm moving.
Yeah, absolutely. When I wonder if there's, a way to flip it where it's like, maybe you don't have speed just because the body does slow down, and that's just a fact of life, but you don't necessarily lose the potential to be strong or vital or whatever it is. Like, is there a different thing that you can now have as possible? Not that you can't get faster, right? If you practice getting faster, I don't know why you couldn't get faster as you age necessarily either. But yeah, it's so easy to sort of lose sight of the possibility inside of things.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much longer are they in their breakouts?
I'm in there forever. Hold on 1 second. It's time to come back, in fact, because I'm looking at we got lost in our conversation. They're like, let me out. Or maybe not. They're like,
I say they're all like, yeah, so many possibilities.
What I noticed that there's a sub need for me to want to get up early so that I can get out. There's this connection I want to gain from nature, and so I know that if I'm up, I can go out and then connect, but it's the action of getting up, because I'm stuck in my comfort.
Got it. So is there maybe like a statement that comes from that possibility of seeing nature, that then getting up early is just what you do because there's this thing that you really enjoy, that you really care about?
Yeah, that's inspiration.
That's great. Thank you.
I want to say I love this exercise because before this, I'd never really thought about where my self-talk came from. And I've struggled with this, but now it's clear on how to rephrase that to myself, reframe it, so to speak, where it's more beneficial for me. And I can see myself getting past that now.
That's so awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we'll say a little bit as everyone pops back in, but that's the thing about these conversations. Like I just said with Kenyofi, it was like they all motivate you. It's not like you're not going to take action with any different conversation. It's just that you're not going to sustain it, and you're going to get less results ultimately. And that's the thing that we're looking at, is how do you get the most juice out of whatever this practice is? And it's probably not by making yourself self-conscious or trying to attain something out kind of in the world. So with that, looks like everyone is back. thank you all, everyone, for sticking with us a little bit past our normal time. Would anyone like to share anything they saw for themselves in this last conversation? Any conversations they discovered that they hadn't seen before? Just anything at all. What's coming up for you?
So please raise your digital hand if you're willing to share. And if not, I will call on someone. You have a choice to say no. But anybody who's absolutely present to wanting to share, please do let us know.
And I know we had some good conversations in the main room as well. So I would encourage everyone in that room to share. Phyllis, yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say that this is an awesome community right here. Oh my gosh. I got the invitation at the last minute and I was able to invite Nastasia as well. And I'm so glad that we're both on this call. So what I got was, and it's something that's always been in the background, like the importance of mental health. And good morning. Start video. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Just give me a few seconds, please. So as also saying, yeah. So the importance of mental health and just being aware of how you communicate and how you think of yourself, because I know I'm always talking about, I love family and, what's important to me is my family and my well-being, my health, this, that, and the other. But as I sit here and listen to these women, it's like, you really have to hone that and have like more self-reflection. And I don't know, I'm just like rambling on, but it's really about, gosh, I'm sorry. And I'm also in a very emotional state this morning. Learning how to have more compassion for myself. I'm back to that, learning how to have more compassion for myself. And with that, I'm complete.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Phyllis. No, that's great. No, that's I had mentioned a little earlier that I think a lot of people probably will have easier access to the conversations around self-consciousness or external pressure than they will to their autonomy. And so it really is a practice of actually locating inside yourself those more empowering conversations, because they're not as readily accessible. So really getting connected to the things that you care about and actually consciously turning those other conversations into something more empowering and that give you more agency is critical. Otherwise, they just get drowned out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. Yeah, Terry.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Come in. Let me take it off.
Okay. This was a very interesting conversation this morning. And I kind of made my last group laugh, but it really does work for me. I'm at the point where my body has been through some things, and what I'm doing to uplift my spirits is I'm actually getting up in the morning, standing in the mirror, butt naked, and telling myself how much I love myself.
That's awesome.
It is very uplifting, because if I can tell myself that I love myself in the raw, then that just makes the rest of my day go so much smoother.
That's great. I was just going to ask before you said that. I was going to say, so what becomes possible then when you do that in the morning? What's like the possibility that you see in getting up and having that naked mirror affirmation every morning?
Well, first of all, it sets the tone for my day.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what life has in store for me, And it also focuses me on loving me so that I have love and compassion to give to others.
Got it. So setting the tone for the day and actually loving yourself so that you have the compassion to give to people. So those are two really strong autonomy conversations, right? Possibility conversations. That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? We got
And
some people there. Thank you. Luis.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I enjoyed, I came on late, like 8 o'clock. So I enjoyed the breakout room. I was with Phyllis, who shared earlier, Friye, and Nastasia. And what we, I guess as a group we talked about. I know Nastasia was more listening in. I think this was possibly her first time. And I know for me, it's my mental health. That's has to be primary, because I cannot pour from an empty cup. So I love my family, and with me focusing on my mental health and being able to stay balanced and peaceful within myself, that's the key, because then the possibility, then I'm able to enjoy life and then able to enjoy joy. Joy. So, I mean, I recently turned 50 a couple of weeks ago, and I had shared that I've been with Wake Up since like maybe the second day back in March of 2020. And even though the last few months I've been more off than on, Wake Up Everybody is still a part of my DNA at this point. And, I've been able to do certain things and to live joyfully because I've lived so much of my life for my children, my family, and so many things I did was not necessarily from an authentic place. And now I'm more breaking the chains in my mind, breaking the chains of people pleasing and wanting to be liked and wanting to be accepted. And, one of some of the possibilities, I got my first tattoo back in August, and it's a African symbol that means transformation. And I joined a 40 plus double Dutch club. You got to be 40 and over. So I have video of me jumping double Dutch, which I've loved since I moved to this country when I was 10.
Yeah.
And it's important for me to balance my life. I care for my family. I make sure I do what I have to do for my children, but I have to do what makes me happy as well. And my family is having a bit of difficulty dealing with the healed portions of myself, but they'll adjust.
Sure.
They will adjust. So yes, Kinyofu. So she's saying she's a member too. She's in DC. I'm the one in Queens. So and I just have to say, regardless of all the challenges and the chaos with COVID and my job and issues with my family, I'm living my best life at this time. And I'm going to continue to love me. And yes, Terry, I too look in the mirror and grab my fat and say, I love all of you, even while I'm getting rid of it. So this was a great exercise this day in terms of autonomy and love. And I so appreciate Wake Up Everybody and the continued healing. Because as Mika says, there's no mountaintop, life happens. And, when we healing, we get tested. So I guess the importance is to continue to have compassion for myself, as Phyllis was saying, to be patient with myself and to respect the process. So thank you for this.
Thank you, Louise. Yeah, we were speaking in the main room about the freedom that comes with actually accepting your body, right, at wherever it is all the time, and understand that the possibilities are always there for it, but actually just really accepting what is. And you really, everything you just shared was amazing as far as all these different autonomy conversations and what's possible for your family. And I love not pouring from an empty cup. I think that's a really great image. So thank you for that. So I know we're, we were out of time half an hour ago, but now we're really out of time. So with that, I think we should probably move to a wrap up here, which Teresa, yeah.
Say one thing is that I have been searching for financial wealth, but I got more than financial wealth just by being on here. So y'all are my finances. It's like just y'all are my spiritual, my mental finances in my life. And I'm complete. I'm like, I gotta get naked like 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 Terry and Louise. I gotta do that. Yes. Thank y'all.
Everyone's going to get naked and look in the mirror after this. Well, thank you, Teresa. Is there anything maybe that like a particular statement or conversation that you're coming away with that's really affecting you around your autonomy, around what's possible, anything like that?
That finishing the things that I have been not doing is going to be a gift to myself. And so I can't wait to open up my gifts. I'm gonna stop, like not open up my gifts because I love gifts. So it's like if I don't take the class, then I'm gonna miss the beauty of the gifts that I'm getting from the class.
Absolutely.
And I'm complete.
Thank you. Yeah, you can't not open gifts. Okay, well, thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everybody. So Ash is going to take us out. I just want to say I thank you all for participating in this conversation. I hope that everyone sees some different ways of speaking, to yourself, to other people, and how that kind of motivates different types of actions. I've said it 10 times. I'll say it one more time that all of these conversations do motivate action. It's just that you'll see that over the course of time, they're going to motivate it differently. You're going to get different kinds of results, and you're going to find that you have a much more sustainable practice. So hopefully everyone found something they can kind of start chewing on in relation to that. With that, Ash, if you want to take us out, please do so.
All right, let's have our closing slides. Well, thank you everyone for being with us and being in this exploration. I'm walking away with some ideas that I would not have otherwise come up to. Like, I love that. I love gifts. Well, I love gifts. So why wouldn't I dig into the gifts that I have, the gifts that I'm cultivating, the gifts that I'm exploring? I really love that. So we have a special offer for everyone on the line to participate in the Flow and Restore monthly membership for the month of October. So what that includes, we have weekly yoga classes. We have like physical yoga classes, but we also have like a HIIT yoga class, like a hustle and flow class, and they take place now. We still call it 5 p.m. yoga, but they take place now all across the week. And I'll put the link to the membership page so you can really see what it includes in the chat. So we do this membership offer. It's our physical yoga classes, studio classes, at home virtual studio classes. They take place 6 days out of the week. They happen every week. And then we have Friday night yoga nidra. And Friday night yoga nidra has been going on for a year and a half. It's a deep relaxation meditation practice that happens every Friday evening at 9 p.m. without fail, 9 to 9:30, very luxurious and relaxing. And now we're starting a yoga studies book club where we're just going to read a piece of yoga scriptural text together and talk about what we get out of it. And that's every other week for 45 minutes. Really sweet. And this whole thing is $30 usually, and Wake Up Everybody people get $10 off. So that whole month of stuff is $20 for you. And that's the coupon code there if you want to use it. And you can also email me. So this all starts on the 19th of this month. And if you want to participate, please email me. Just email me and let me know. And look, there's my stuff. So my email's right at the bottom there, ash@flowandrestore.com, ash@flowandrestore.com. You may as well just open up your email address, your email account right now, and just put ash@flowandrestore.com into the to box and just say hello. So we have an open thread going. You may as well do that right now. If you're not doing it yet, why not? Go ahead and do it. And there's my phone number, and that's me on Facebook. And I think a lot of us are friends on Facebook, but if we're not, please add me on Facebook so we can stay connected. And then Mike will tell you his contact information on the next slide. And I highly recommend connecting with him too, because he's the best.
Yeah, so my contact info, you are more than welcome to text. You're welcome to call. I probably won't answer, but you can leave a message and I'll call you back. Or you can send me an email, and really please do reach out. I know we covered a lot of stuff here today. If you'd like to receive any of the prompts themselves, if you have any questions about where the prompts came from, all of this stuff comes from my own kind of psychology nerding out, and I can send you all kinds of other stuff if you want to go a little bit deeper with it, or just understand where did you come up with these ideas today. So I'm always happy to share about that stuff. I love talking about it. So really don't hesitate to send me an email or a text if you'd just like to either recap today or just get a little bit deeper into the topic. There's all kinds of stuff that I could share. So happy to do that.
Thank you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the key for our love offerings and donations. So we love you and we love this material, and we would do it for free, but there is something that becomes available to you people when you give, and you give freely. You give for no reason other than to give. It comes back twofold, tenfold. There really is a lot of truth to that. So this is the key for us for love offerings and donations for today. And you can send that over Zelle or QuickPay to soleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com, or you could send it over Cash App to Spirit of a Woman. And that's the code right there, hashtag 431ASMG.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And here we are. We'll be back here again tomorrow, Monday, October 11th, to have a session titled Your Wealthy Life. And this will be facilitated by Alicia Holmes. And on Tuesday, October 12th, the topic will be Hit the Road, Fibroids, and Don't You Come Back No More, facilitated by Dr. Danette Bean. And family, we hope to see you there Monday and Tuesday. And for all the newcomers, we like to say, don't hit it and quit it. I've seen you showing up. We want to continue to see your faces and your names in our participant list. So we welcome all newcomers and new members to Woo Nation. If you're new here and you're present today, if you're on the Zoom, if you're in the Facebook, just put a note in the chat and let us know that you are here, and our community will extend you a warm welcome and love. And here's our schedule. Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we're here from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.-ish. And on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. So we have 90 minutes 3 days a week and 30 minutes for 2 days a week. We're always streaming live on Facebook. And if you'd like to get those alerts, you can text Woo Nation to the number 74121. Again, text Woo Nation to 74121. And for the swag, you can get your items at bit.ly/Woo Swag. We have a nice collection there. Get your mugs, masks, water bottles, sweatshirts, and t-shirts. Go to bit.ly/Woo Swag. And we want you to stay in touch with us. We thank you so much for being here. You can find us at bit.ly Wake Up Movement. That's the register. On Facebook for a private group, bit.ly/Woo Community, and on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. You can find us on YouTube at, I love that, WooTube. On YouTube at bit.ly/woo on YouTube. And again, you can email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. Now's the time for us to shower our facilitators with love. I'll stop the share. We'll go to gallery view and shower Ash and Mike with love. Thank you, family.
Thank you, Mike and Ash, for this amazing conversation today.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you to all my
Amazing.
group members.
Thank you for this exercise, Mike. Thank you,
Let's
Ashley.
get
Really
naked,
good to wake
y'all.
up and hear your
Loving
voices
ourselves.
And input.
Yes,
Thank you so
thank you
much.
so much.
Amazing.
Let me get on camera.
Have a
you,
blessed
guys.
day
You
now.
come
Right.
back
And let's
again
move
soon.
forward.
All right, thank you so
Unity.
much.
And
Yes,
stay well.
indeed.
Thank
I've
y'all.
been
It's
thinking about it,
awesome.
about
Thank you,
doing some
Shawnee.
more
Thank you for
Beautiful, beautiful,
practices.
beautiful.
So, and
Thank
practice
you.
around
Love y'all.
my
Thank you,
health and
Ashley. Thank you,
exercising.
Mike.
I didn't
Y'all
mention that
rock.
except
Y'all
in
were
the
awesome. Yes,
breakout room,
yes,
but yes,
yes.
I'm going to be
Admin
more,
team, y'all are
more
powerful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it was a
directed
wild
to
conversation.
doing more for my health. All right, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yes,
Bye-bye.
love y'all. Peace,
Love y'all
blessings.
too.